Making connections, text to self, text to text, and text the world. When I read a book, making connection to a text is a great strategy to help me understand what I read. I use my background knowledge schema to help me understand what I read. When I'm reading a book, I am connecting the text to my life experiences, I am connecting the text to the books I have read, and I am connecting the text to an event in the past, present, and future around the world. Don't forget to compare the similarities and contrast the differences. Today I'll show you how I'm connecting the text to the books I have read. Text to text. I am connecting the text to the books I have read before. What are the similarities and differences in each book? Here are the examples. These are non-fiction books, all about bottlenose dolphins and No Wonder. All About Bottlenose Dolphins is a book I have read before, and No Wonder is a book I'm reading now. And I'll show you a connection between these two books. Another example is a fiction book called Stay by Bobby Pyron and Wish by Barbara O'Connor. Let's see the first example. I am connecting between a book I am reading and another book I read before. Here are the two non-fiction books. The first one is All About Bottlenose Dolphins. That's what I'm reading now. The second one is No Wonder About Penguins, which I read before. The book I read before, All About Bottlenose Dolphins, I will show you the knowledge I learned from the book, which is why it's called schema. When I read the non-fiction book All About Bottlenose Dolphins, I learned that bottlenose dolphins' dark backs blend in with the dark ocean when predators look down from the surface of the water. When predators look up, the bottlenose dolphins' white bellies blend in with the bright sky. The book I'm reading now, No Wonder. You'll find out the connection I have between these two books and new knowledge I learned from the book I'm reading now. When I read the nonfiction book called No Wonder, I learned the term counter shading, which is a type of camouflage. It makes penguins' dark backs blend in with the dark ocean when predators look down from the surface of the water. I found a similarity between penguins and bottlenose dolphins. This part reminds me of what I read before about bottlenose dolphins. When the predators look up, the penguins' white bellies blend in with the bright sky. Even if these two animals live in different territories, they use the same type of camouflage to survive. I have connections between these two books. The book I read before, All About Bottlenose Dolphins, the book I'm reading now, No Wonder. I noticed the similarities between these two books, and I also learned a new name called counter shading. Our schemas are constantly changing and growing when we learn new things. When I read about bottlenose dolphins, I don't know what type of camouflage it is. But when I read the second book about penguins, I learned that it's called counter shading. Connecting the text you just read to another book. Using sentence starters helped you express your ideas. I could say bottlenose dolphins use the same type of camouflage as penguins do. The two books help me understand that counter shading is a common technique of marine camouflage. This is the first example about making connections between these two nonfiction books. This is the second example about making connection between these two fiction books. I am connecting between a book I am reading and another book I read before. The first book is called Wish by Barbara O'Connor. The second book is Stay by Bobby Pyron. I'll show you what I read from the book and the knowledge I learned from the book. The main character, Piper, felt frustrated and upset when her life changed. Even if Piper faced difficult times, she still held a homeless lady named Jewel and her dog, Baby, behind the home she belonged to. Things started to turn around when Piper met lots of trustful friends in the shelter. They encouraged and helped Piper overcome her obstacles. The book I'm reading now, Wish by Barbara O'Connor. Let's see what I'm reading. The Main character, Charlie, was sent to live with her aunt and uncle because her parents were unable to take care of her. Charlie felt angry and worried when her life changed. Even though Charlie struggled with everything in her new life, she felt hopeful. A kind neighbor boy and a skinny dog, Wishbone, accompanied with Charlie and made her feel like she was not alone. I have connections between these two books. The book I read before, Stay by Bobby Pyron. The book I'm reading now, Wish by Barbara O'Connor. Let's make connections. My feedback's what I read in my first book, Stay by Bobby Pyron. New knowledge I learned from the second book, Wish by Barbara O'Connor. Our schemas are constantly changing and growing when we learn new things. Connecting the text you just read to another book. Using sentence starters helps you express your ideas. I can say Charlie sympathizes with a skinny and stray dog because she understands how it feels. She just wants a host she belongs to. The green box is the new knowledge I learned from the book. This reminds me of the book I read before. This part makes me remember the book, named Stay by Bobby Pyron. Piper also shows her compassion to a homeless lady and her dog, named Baby. She understands how they feel because she has been in the same situation and wants to help them find their home. Let's see another example. I can say Charlie has a similar problem as Piper does because they all face a big challenge and everything in their lives is turned upside down. When I'm reading a book, I am connecting the text to my life experiences, I am connecting the text to the books I have read, and I am connecting the text to an event in the past, present, and future around the world. Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow my Instagram, link education, and subscribe and like the video.